Hello everybody! This is my second episode in my series called Skymods of the Week. Each week I cover a few mods that I've thoroughly tested from end to end, and I only cover ones that pass through my boot camp. I also rate each mod that I feature, and I often step through the installation of the mods that are the toughest to install and configure. So this week I'm going to feature 4 mods, which are all available on nexusmods.com, and that is now a new parent domain of all the former Nexus websites. The 4 mods are SkyUI, HD 2K textures, realistic water textures, and a quality world map with roads. I got a kick out of how that guy named that last mod. Call it exactly what it is, right? Alright, now let's begin with SkyUI. And like I said before, it's available on nexusmods.com. And it is written by the user Schlangster. And you can see how immensely popular it is. Look at that, 1.8 million views and 230 unique downloads, or 230,000. Now, he does mention the requirements, and one of the requirements is Skyrim script extender, but he only mentions that like once at the tops, and it's easy to miss. In fact, I missed it at first. He goes through and shows you the different how he's overhauled the different menus, and this is the most important part, is the installation. Now, he doesn't mention Skyrim script extender here again, which he should have, but just remember you must have a Skyrim script extender installed. And he offers an automatic download and installation procedure by using Nexus Mod Manager, and I highly recommend that you at least install it using Nexus Mod Manager. You don't necessarily have to download it using that. In fact, Nexus Mod Manager is kind of buggy when it comes to downloading, but so follow these instructions and you should be fine. There's also a troubleshooting section, which is nice. He also explains how to uninstall it if you need to. Okay, so anyway, enough chatter about the installation. Let's head right into SkyUI. Alright, now it's time to check out SkyUI in action. I picked a really dreary day so you would focus on the UI and not so much what's happening in the background. Alright, so this is it. We are now in the inventory, and you can see that immediately there's so much more information displayed. And I've actually increased the font size, which you can do in the config files. I might show you that later. But it's just much easier to see everything. It's a little bit easier to sort through stuff and categorize stuff. And my favorite, which requires the Skyrim script extender, is the auto filter system. So if I wanted to find all of my healing spells, I just type in healing, and voila, I've got all of my healing spells. And the spell tome that I haven't read yet. That is why Skyrim script extender is required for this. There's all sorts of other little features that you just kind of have to get familiar with. This is unchanged. You can still view everything. There's a couple of keyboard and mouse bugs that don't really... Yeah, see, there's a minor bug with that. And there's another problem here too. Like right now, it's not there. See, I had to scroll up and down to make it start selecting again, or auto-selecting each line. So there are some bugs, but all in all, I think it's better than the very buggy UI that Skyrim gave us, the vanilla version. This is what happens when you talk to someone. Shut up.
The finest weapons and armor.
Yeah, sure. So his name in his inventory is down here with a goofy icon, and then my inventory is right here. That's fairly straightforward, and this part is fairly bug-free. Now, you just have to kind of pay attention to whom you are viewing when you're looking through this stuff, because it's kind of easy to mix the two up. Alright, now I'm going to show you a significant bug that can cause a lot of problems. It's when looking in a container. Now, we're looking in a container now, Now if I switch to my inventory, I can see everything in my inventory. Now if we switch back to the container, look at this. This is a really big mess. Luckily it's not that big of a deal because you switch back to yours and it's okay. But it can be confusing because if I click this, then it shows that I'm looking at the large sack, but I'm in my weapons. So you just have to kind of watch the bugs sometimes. And then here's another example. So glass, here's another bug. Look, I can't select. In fact, if I'm clicking now, I had to click to auto select the lines. So that's another minor bug, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's a little annoying when I'm trying to hurry up and select something, like right now. I'd like to select that and I can't. See, I have to go out there. Now it's selected, and that's annoying. But all in all, there's less bugs in SkyUI than there are in the vanilla UI that Bethesda gave us. Now it's time to rate SkyUI. First of all, the installation is simple and generally bug-free, and so is the configuration. It does have numerous bugs, all of which are only a slight annoyance, but its usefulness outweighs any of its flaws. So, on a scale from 0 to 3, I give SkyUI a 2-word shout.
He's sick!
Alright, so the next mod that we're going to work on is Skyrim HD 2K Textures. And this one is written by Nebula. And as you can see, it's immensely popular as well. 283,000 downloads. The author has taken to this project, and he's considering this a work in progress. So you will have to come back and update this mod if you install it. But anyway, he goes through system requirements, he goes through how to install it. It's pretty much a manual installation, and even though you could probably use Nexus Mod Manager, it's best to just follow his instructions right here. He also explains how to uninstall it if you need to. It's a very sloppy uninstall, but it still gets the job done. You just want to read through everything, and you want to make sure that your computer can handle this. Okay, now let's hop in game, and we'll take a look at some before clips and after clips.
Interested traveler.
Okay, here we are in Solitude.
Everything
Now
all
take a
right?
look at the ugly stonework on that wall, and look at the moss. Now look at it with 2K textures. It looks so much better. The stones are more diverse, and the ivy looks
So,
better.
you could cast
Now
a
we're going
few
to look
spells.
at some of the higher walls and pay attention to the moss on those walls. So anyway, this is the vanilla version, and then this is the version with 2K textures. And just take note, everything looks better, even right down to the wooden beams that make up the Fletcher's building. Okay, now we're in Riverwood with the vanilla textures, and then in a moment I'll show you the same scene with the 2K textures. So these particular textures are strikingly different, but they still look better. And then here's a close-up of a tree and a small stone wall, which is the vanilla version. And then in a moment I'll show you the 2K version of that same tree. It's considerably different, but I still think that this bark looks better than the original. So here's my rating for the HD 2K textures. The installation is manual, but straightforward enough, but the uninstall is very sloppy, and I highly recommend that you don't follow the author's suggestion. There is no configuration needed, but there is enough documentation to help users understand the composition of the mod. And the highest quality version of the 2K textures didn't cause any additional crashes for me during the 3 days I tested it. And I'd say that the limited texture replacements are impressive, but not necessarily jaw-dropping. And on our shout scale of 0 to 3, I give the 2K textures a 2-word shout.
He's sick!
Now, the third mod that I'm going to cover is one of my favorites, which is RWT, which stands for Realistic Water Textures. This is also available on nexusmods.com, and the link is in the description of this video. The author is Isoku. And this, again, is a very popular mod, over 250 unique downloads. This mod will replace a lot of the vanilla water textures in Skyrim with much better versions. And there's several different options when you download the main file. This is a manual install. There's really no Nexus mod easy automatic install. So it's kind of a messy manual drag and drop where you're copying folders into your Skyrim folder, but just follow the instructions exactly, and also tweak your ini file to his recommended tweaks, because that's what I did, and it works great. Now, then he goes through a couple of different troubleshooting tips at the bottom, so if you have problems, you can take a look at that. You must activate the ESP file, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, now let's go into the game and see some before and after clips. Okay, here we are at the Natural Arch by Solitude, and if you look at the surface of the water, it doesn't look bad. The refractions and the water, like the sun specularity, is working, but this is the RWT that you're looking at right now, and there's a significant difference. I actually tweaked my ini settings just a little bit too to increase the quality of the reflections, but all in all, this looks much better. Now we'll take a look at the next area, which is in a light rainfall near Riverwood, and I wanted to show you the raindrop effects on the water, and it doesn't look bad. And now let's take a look at that same scene with the RWT, and that's what you're looking at right now. There's a bit of an improvement. It's not a major improvement, but it's noticeable. And now let's move to the last scene, which is the waterfall you just saw. This is the vanilla Skyrim textures, and you can see the specularity. It looks okay, not bad at all. But then here's the RWT version. The specularity is enhanced. The textures are higher definition. It just looks much better in my opinion. So I do recommend this installation, even though the installation is a bit sloppy. Okay, let's rate it. First, the installation is sloppy, and the uninstall is even worse, but it does come with quite a few customization options if you're willing to do more copying and pasting. It performs well on most graphics cards with minimal crashing issues, and lastly, it makes a slight but noticeable difference around all lake, river, and ocean locations. So from 0 to 3, realistic water textures gets only a one-word shout.
5!
And now we move on to the last mod for this week. It's called Quality World Map with Roads. This particular one was written by Ice Penguin, and it's another one of those immensely popular mods available on nexusmods.com. This simply adds a higher quality world map when you go into the map view, but it also overlays all roads and paths and dirt trails on top of the map. And all of these roads and trails were hand drawn. This is also my shining example of a perfect installation. You can download it via Mod Manager if you want to, or you can just download it manually, but you install it through the Nexus Mod Manager, and it's a very clean and simple install, and it gives you several options, so you can customize it as you'd like. And the best thing to do is to just follow the instructions and then choose the options you like when you install it. Alright, now let's take a look at the new map. Now, immediately upon entering the map, you notice that we've got all of the main roads and all of the side roads hand-drawn right into the map texture, and that's tremendously useful. So now you don't have to just ride blind on horseback. You can actually pick your path and kind of map out your trek across country. I also added some higher quality map textures, and you might or might not really be able to notice a difference. I notice a slight difference. In fact, like this is a fort right here, and I didn't notice that before, and there's a road leading to the fort. In fact, I don't think I've ever traveled this road before. So just all kinds of interesting things that you may not have noticed on the map before. I highly recommend it, and now it's time to rate it. First of all, the installation and configuration options are perfect and seamless, and I hope other modders follow Ice Penguin's example. And it's stable because it doesn't draw any significant resources beyond the vanilla Skyrim map, and it's useful, but I only give it 1 diamond here because you don't really use it that often, and furthermore, the map was missing a lot of trails in the past, and it's still missing a few now. So from 0 to 3, a quality world map with roads gets a 2-word shout.
He's sick!
Well, that about covers it for this week. So if you like this episode of Skymods of the Week, remember to subscribe so you know when the next episode is live. If you had any problems with installing and running these mods, go ahead and post a comment below and someone should be able to help you. Also feel free to suggest your favorite mod and I may include it in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to watch my full Skyrim walkthrough in 1080p high definition.